Let's jump right in. For decades, the golden rule of cybersecurity was, well, kind of medieval. Think castles and moats. You build a massive wall, rig up some insanely loud alarms, and just wait for the bad guys to bump into them. It was all about creating a perimeter so thick nobody could get in. But what happens when modern threats figure out how to ghost right through those defenses without tripping a single wire? Today's adversaries don't kick down the front door. They slip in quietly, map out your floor plan, and blend into the shadows. So in this explainer, we're breaking down a massive, absolutely crucial evolution in the industry. We're moving from sitting back with traditional, reactive security to stepping out into the proactive frontier known as threat hunting. It's a fundamental shift in mindset, from waiting for the breach to assuming it's already happened.
Now you really have to ask yourself, are your cyber defenses purely reactive? Honestly, it's the #1 question keeping security teams up at night. Think about the danger here. If you're relying strictly on automated alarms, you're literally waiting for a breach to happen before you even lift a finger. By the time that siren wails, the threat is already inside, and the damage is probably done. In this industry, we talk a lot about dwell time. That's how long an attacker hangs out secretly inside a network before anyone notices. In purely reactive setups, dwell time isn't measured in minutes. We're talking weeks or even months. That is a terrifying amount of time for a bad actor to quietly siphon data or set up a ransomware drop. Waiting for the dashboard to blink red is simply no longer a viable survival strategy.
To really get why this shift matters so much, let's quickly look at the baseline, the traditional tools we've relied on forever. Firewalls are your heavy front door, blocking known bad traffic. Then you have intrusion detection systems, or IDS. These are kind of like security cameras monitoring the digital hallways. Malware sandboxes let you safely isolate and detonate sketchy files, just like a digital bomb squad. And of course, SIM systems churn through millions of logs to give you one central view. Don't get me wrong, these tools are absolutely essential. No modern organization could survive without the whole shebang. But they all share one fatal flaw when it comes to today's sophisticated adversaries.
And that flaw is this. Traditional measures rely entirely on investigating evidence after a warning goes off. They are fundamentally reactive by design. They run on what we call indicators of compromise, or IOCs. Think of an IOC like a muddy footprint on your living room rug. Finding it definitely tells you someone broke in, but it also means they've already walked right through your house. Your security team only starts investigating once a potential threat has made noise. But when you're dealing with advanced silent threats that are literally engineered to mimic normal behavior, you're perpetually playing catch-up. It's an endless cat-and-mouse game, and relying on alerts means you are always, inevitably, one step behind.
Check this out, because this brilliantly illustrates the paradigm shift we're talking about. On the left, traditional management. It's reactive, evidence-based, operating strictly post-warning. It's basically sitting in a chair holding a shield, bracing for an impact. But on the right, threat hunting. This is proactive. You are actively searching the environment entirely pre-warning. Instead of waiting to find that muddy footprint, you're looking for the behavioral signs of someone trying to pick the lock in the first place. It is the literal difference between passively waiting for an automated system to save you versus stepping out of the castle walls and taking the fight straight to the adversary.
So what exactly is threat hunting? Simply put, it's the process of proactively searching for threats against computer systems in order to protect them. And proactively is the absolutely crucial word there. You aren't waiting for an alert. Instead, the threat hunter operates on a terrifying but totally necessary assumption. The perimeter has already been breached. The alarms failed. The moat was crossed. With that mindset, human analysts actively sweep the dark, unmonitored corners of their systems. They analyze obscure processes and look for weird, subtle behaviors that automated systems are completely blind to. They're hunting for ghosts in the machine, actively rooting out hidden threats before those threats can execute their mission.
But here's a reality check for you. We have this cutting-edge approach that sounds like the ultimate silver bullet, right? Well, as highly respected threat analyst Leslie Carhart points out, there is no consensus amongst practitioners what threat hunting actually entails. Talk about a plot twist. Despite being universally hailed as the mandatory future of security, experts admit it's kind of the Wild West right now. Because it relies heavily on human intuition and creativity, it's really hard to put into a neat little box. Some folks think simply reviewing old logs is hunting. Others do insanely complex statistical analysis of network traffic. The industry is basically building the plane while flying it, and there are no universally standardized rules just yet.
Which brings us to our final thought for today. If the experts don't even agree on the rules, who is really winning the hunt? Look, the industry knows for a fact that proactive searching, human-driven threat hunting, is the only way to outsmart modern, quiet adversaries. Automated defenses just aren't enough on their own anymore. But the exact roadmap for doing it perfectly and at scale, that is still being aggressively debated. How will this vital practice formalize over the next few years? Will we finally see a standardization of what it truly means to hunt? And until then, how can defenders make sure they are continuously evolving to stay the hunter rather than the hunted? Keep asking those tough questions, stay curious, and keep looking out for that next big evolution in security.